up, everyone? Welcome back. I'm Achara Cook, joined by Brandon Yates. And we are checking out a pitch meeting. Now, this is your very first pitch meeting.
This is my very first pitch meeting. I will say, you asked me if I was very aware of what Avengers Infinity War was, and I am. I've seen it, but it's been a minute. So
okay, that's
I hope we can be friends still.
We can still be friends. Because I was going through like a list of possible things for us to react to. Mm-hmm. And then like there were some movies that Brandon had not seen. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then I was like, have you seen Avengers Infinity War? And he goes, yes. And I'm like, cool, we can still be friends. Mm-hmm. But I'd still be your friend anyway, even if you hadn't seen it. I'm friends with Kristen. She hasn't seen it. You don't know Kristen. No. But I don't know if at this point, if you guys will have seen any of her reactions yet, but we're actually making her go through the MCU in release order.
Really?
So it's a big feat, but she's enjoying it so far, and she's finally understanding the hype. So if you guys haven't seen any of that, or if you're looking forward to seeing her reactions to that, do make sure that you subscribe, click the bell icon, all notifications, so you know when we drop those videos. Also, while you're subscribing and all that good stuff, there's a link in the description below for pitch meeting. So, if you like that stuff, go ahead, give that a subscribe. Also, this is Avengers Infinity War pitch meeting revisited, which means that he did this a while ago, and then he goes back and kind of talks about the process and stuff, which I know at least one person has said, I don't think it's a good idea to show someone who's never seen a pitch meeting before a revisited one, but I'm going to do it anyway. So, deal. Brandon's flexible and adaptable.
I'm a rebel.
He's a rebel. We're going to be fine. So without further ado, let's get into this.
Hi everybody, it's Ryan George from the thing you're currently watching. Please enjoy this pitch meeting for Avengers Infinity War that I made several years ago, and stick around after because I will talk about it. While you're doing that, I'm gonna draw Iron Man. So you have that Avengers Infinity War script for me? Yes sir, I do. And this one's all about a guy named Thanos who's trying to gather Infinity Stones. Oh, what's he like? Well, let's just say if Bruce Willis was a Pokemon, this is probably what he'd evolve into. Ooh, scary.
I literally thought he was gonna say, if a person was a purple nutsack, then that's what he would look like, but he didn't go there. I guess it was low-hanging fruit. But yeah, anywho.
Gonna get real dark. Sounds like stuff is getting serious. Oh yeah. I mean, you'll still have time for a quick, lighthearted Ben & Jerry's commercial, right? Oh, Ben & Jerry's? Yeah, for sure. Okay, great, because I already cashed that check. I actually threw in a fair amount of jokes to balance out the darker moments. Keeping that Marvel vibe to it. What kind of jokes are we talking? Well, I had this idea that maybe some characters call other ones by names that aren't their real names, right? Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'll be a lot of the jokes. I'm not sure I get it. Well, like Tony calls this bad guy Ebony Moss Squidward. Okay, yeah, I guess that's funny. And Thor calls Rocket Rabbit. Yeah, okay, he's not a rabbit. And Tony calls Star-Lord Mr. Lord. Uh-huh. And he also calls him Flash Gordon. Right. And Thor calls Groot Tree. All that character says is his own name. And Star-Lord calls Thanos Grimace. So you're like really leaning into this name thing. And Spider-Man's gonna think that Doctor Strange is a made-up name. Are people gonna notice that so many of the jokes are based on character names? I don't think so, unless some jerk on the internet points it out. Well, okay then. So tell me more about Thanos. You mean Pokemon Bruce Willis? Please stop making name jokes. That's not his real name. That's not his real name, yeah, I get the joke. Well, Pokemon Bruce Willis thinks that there aren't enough resources to go around, so he wants to destroy half of all life in the universe. Oh, wow. Does that include, like, plants and animals? I don't know, probably not, because those are natural resources. What if there are planets where there are just plants and animals? I don't know, maybe half of them die in those cases? What if
I never thought about that.
Like a million animals and one dude? I don't know. Would half the animals die, or would half that dude die? I don't know. Would his left side just go limp or something? I mean, I'm hoping people don't think about Thanos' plan this much. It's just something he wants to do real bad.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, it's more of a shut your brain off and enjoy kind of thing. Done and done. Anyway, Gamora's like, well, Thanos can't get the Soul Stone because I'm the only one who knows where it is. Okay, so she goes into hiding? No, she goes directly to him. What? I mean, she tells Star-Lord to kill her if Thanos manages to grab her. Still, that seems pretty irresponsible. Oh yeah, very much so.
This is so chaotic.
And Thanos has the Reality Stone, so he easily grabs Gamora from the Guardians. What does he use the Reality Stone for? More bubbles than you'd expect. Oh, bubbles are tight. But essentially, he can make whatever he wants become reality, so like Drax and Mantis turn into Slinkies and stuff. Well, that's game over, right? If he could turn everyone into Slinkies, that's game over. Yeah, he can literally alter reality. Wow. But he's not really gonna do it that much. Oh, why not? Because, fair enough.
No, I did not think about about that at all.
God.
That's just kind of messed it up for me. You know what it is, though? And I say this all the time. When the movie's fun and it's a good movie, I think Avengers Infinity War is a good movie, you guys. You don't really think too hard about the plot holes or anything that is potentially problematic. It's like, why didn't he do that?
I'm so guilty of this. When I watch movies, I'm just like, huh. I enjoyed that. That's about it. They're like, well, what about this part? I'm like, I have no idea.
I had no idea. Thanks for ruining it, Ryan George.
Here's the thing. Based on the powers we've established for everybody, there's probably a lot of ways they could bring down Thanos. Yeah, it feels like fans are going to point all of those out online. That's right, and that's why I included a scene I like to call Shut the Hell Up, Everyone. Oh, I like the sound of that. What is it? We're going to have Doctor Strange look into the future and say that out of 14 million outcomes, he only sees them winning one. Oh, very smart. Yeah, so anytime someone online tries to criticize the movie, somebody else will chime in like, well, it probably had to happen that way because that's the only way Doctor Strange saw them winning. Exactly.
Yeah.
Shut the hell up, everyone. There you go. So what else happens in the movie? Well, some of the characters blast a hole in a ship and Ebony Maw goes flying out into space. But then he flies back like Mary Poppins. No, I thought of that, but then I was like, this isn't Star Wars. Bummer. Sorry. So what do they do about the hole in the spaceship? Well, Iron Man closes it up because he has this cool new thing where his suit is like, basically magic. Oh, it is. Yeah, it fixes up holes in spaceships and morphs into whatever he needs in any given situation, and it closes up massive stab wounds. How is that possible? Nanotechnology. Yeah, but what does that mean exactly? Nanotechnology.
So there is something that I actually really, really appreciate about the character of Iron Man a lot of the time, and I've seen so many videos about this, but they show that with each technological advance that he's made, they showed like what was the thing that caused him to think of that. So like from the very first movie all the way till then, they were like each new suit is addressing something that he had a problem with before, whether it was he was flying up in space and he had to deal with the freezing or
That's
like
true,
certain types of energy things. But they really, really thought it out for some reason. It was really cool because every single new suit addressed like a major problem that he had before, and I never really made the connection. And so like he's one of like the most well thought out characters, I feel like.
I feel like that's also the pitch meeting. Shut the hell up, audience. Move. It's like, yeah, he could do that because
Tony thought of it.
He's smart.
So what do some of the other characters do in the movie? Like what's up with Captain America? Oh, he has a beard now. That's it? Pretty much.
That's
what
crazy.
About Black Panther? He goes, "Ya Bombay." Black Widow? She's gonna have this little moment where she's surprised to see that Bruce is back on Earth, even though he's the one who called them. Oh, well, that's sweet. She's also gonna be part of a lady fight where all the women team up to fight the female antagonist. That's progressive, right? Maybe. What about Winter Soldier? He has a new arm and he picks up a raccoon. Hawkeye? Not even in it. Ant-Man? Nah. I gotta say, it feels like a lot of characters are getting sidelined. Well, you asked me to shove 75 main characters into a single movie, you sick bastard. I did do that. I haven't slept since 2015 and I hate you so much. Hey, throw that Tyrion Lannister dude in there. I like him. Please stop. Please stop. All right, so you're gonna have everybody fight a big generic army of bad guys? Wouldn't be an Avengers movie without that. So what's this army gonna look like? Well, picture what it would look like if Venom took over Goro from Mortal Kombat. Okay, so yeah, like a million Venom Goros. Very cool. And how do the heroes end up stopping Thanos? Oh, they don't. What? Yeah, no, he's gonna get all the stones and erase half of all life in the universe. But it's gonna be hard to wrap up a movie if the bad guy wins. Actually, super easy. Barely an in. Oh, you're disappearing. Okay, and you're gone. Okay, that doesn't feel satisfying at all.
No.
I mean, I know you're gonna come back because we have a bunch of other meetings planned. And there it is. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
Oh, hilarious.
There he is. That's Iron Man.
Oh,
With a
Iron
smile
Man.
On his face, although every minute for him is agony.
I love that.
That was great. I felt that, like, at the end of the movie, when they, like, half of them get dusted, I was just like, I just remember the palpable feeling of, like, what the hell just happened? Like, everyone in the theater was just like, and we were at like a press screening, so it's not even like the hardcore fans, but I mean, everyone is a huge fan of Marvel, or was at that point. And we were all just like, I was like crying. I was like, oh my God, why? But then he's absolutely right. It's like, you know that something has to happen. It kind of undermines itself in a way, because it's like, oh my gosh, that was such an emotional moment. Yeah. But then you know that they have to come back or something has to happen. Like, I genuinely believed that they were going to stick to their guns and just have like half of them disappear, but then they didn't.
Yeah, no, I was a little sad about that. But also, I watched the entire movie and I was like, oh, I don't care. It's fine. It's whatever. And then like we get to the end and he's like, I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. And I was like, no.
No, not Tom Holland. He's so good. Yeah, that scene like broke me. And then when Black Panther gets dusted as well, I was like, no. You're literally killing all my favorite characters.
Literally all the best jawlines.
Yeah.
I wanted all the jawlines and they got rid of them and I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and then they all come back. But that was super when they come back in Endgame. That moment was so cool. On your left. And they just all appear. I'm like, yay! I love it. All right, let's see what Ryan George has to say about his process.
I remember being very stressed out for this pitch meeting because it was the first kind of event movie that I was making a pitch for when it came out. I saw the movie twice. This is one of the few movies where I did that because I was like, whoa. Pressure's on. And the funny thing is, as I rewatched this, I barely summarized the plot at all. I mean, in my defense, there was a lot of characters and stuff going on, but not much of a plot summary in this pitch meeting. And I'll be honest, I don't even remember what I was talking about with that Ben and Jerry's line. Just
no,
from
me.
Context,
I had no idea.
There was some kind of big product placement, but I don't remember what that was. So this could have aged better if I had been a little more specific.
Appreciate
or even cut that completely
the honesty.
to focus more on the plot. I spend like 15 seconds of valuable early video real estate on a Ben and Jerry's joke that I don't even like specify what it is. That product placement did not stick in the zeitgeist, as far as I can tell. That's how you have to say zeitgeist, by the way. You gotta be a little pointed with it. Now to stop kicking my butt over this pitch meeting, which I do think is a little subpar. I'm not the proudest of it. One fun Easter egg I did put in this that some people may have noticed is this Greendale Community College t-shirt I'm wearing, which was a nod to Anthony and Joe Russo, who directed the movie and also did a bunch of stuff on Community, hence the t-shirt. Now the whole thing about there being so many characters in this movie, I do legitimately think they pulled that off as well as they could. Like, they did a really good job with that. Despite the sheer number of characters, I think they struck a balance, and in Endgame, they even found time for Pepper Potts to do whatever this face was. What is she doing there? Hey, Gwyneth, do an angry face. Perfect. But like lots of others, I just don't see how they can ever strike that balance in future Avengers movies. There's so much. Like, what, is there gonna be a big battlefield where She-Hulk is twerking next to Harry Styles?
God.
He's in the MCU now, remember that?
Oh,
when
yeah,
he
he
walked out in a
is.
post-credit scene at a certain point? That was actually a huge moment for me because I have never felt nothing like I felt nothing in that moment. That moment for me was what you search for when you meditate, just pure nothing. It was kind of beautiful. Then because I had to research for the pitch meeting, I found out he's Star Fox, the brother of Thanos, and I do see the resemblance.
Yeah.
This tweet about sums it up for me. My favorite bit of Marvel films is where you sit through 9 minutes of credits to watch a 5-second clip of some guy stepping through a doorway and saying, "It's me, Blorko. I've got superhero fatigue and I've got it bad, folks." Question time. Very kind words, and then do studios have to allow you to use clips from their movies? How does that work? Because I noticed that some videos have less or almost no clips from the movie. So the clips that I usually just grab off of YouTube or from the movie trailers. Or if the movie's out, then I can kind of screen grab it from a streaming website or whatever. As far as I understand it, it's fair use if you're talking about the thing that you're showing.
Correct.
That's how reaction channels exist. But I'm not a lawyer. I haven't passed the bar, but I've been to lots of bars, so I do feel qualified to answer that. When the bleep did you get married? I got married to my wife in May 2023, and we have been divorced 0 times since.
The wedding ring.
Down with a fever and had kind of a fever dream about pitch meetings for books, where maybe the author's brain pitches the book idea or something like that. I know that's going to be extremely time consuming, but do you think that such an idea might be feasible? No. Did you play the manager elf in Elf?
That's perfect.
I mean, yeah, that is me. That's kind of hard to deny. I certainly do seem to be Peter Billingsley. So, yeah. Okay, thanks for watching. Please send questions down below.
The drawing is precious.
Oh, that was really good. I actually really enjoyed his breakdown on that because, like, I do think when your job is being a content creator, a lot of the time you look back on stuff and you're like, wow, well, that did not age well, or like, I really wish that I had done something different there. And it was just really cool to see how candid he was with that. So like everyone can kind of get an idea or an insight into his process, but also his feeling about the superhero fatigue. I think we're getting there. I was having that conversation with a good friend of mine who's like a massive comic book movie fan, and like he loves comic books and all that as well. And he was just like, I'm just not excited anymore.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like the people who are making it are fatiguing a little bit too.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
They're getting into this thing where it feels like they're just like, okay, next one. Okay, next one.
Yeah, like just keep churning them out.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's this expectation that the audience is just going to continue watching the movies just because we're invested thus far. And I will say, perhaps if I wasn't reviewing as much, like as many movies or TV shows as I am now, I think I probably wouldn't have watched a lot of these movies and shows.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just a lot. It's a lot to ask people to watch in order to stay up to date with things. Like I think it's annoying that the expectation is the studio expects you to have watched all of these shows in order to then understand the next movie. And it's like, no, what if I don't have time to invest like 6 to 8 hours in a show? Like, or I don't want to do that. I just want to watch the movies. And I wish that they had done it in such a way where maybe you don't feel as lost if you haven't been watching the shows.
Yeah, I ran into that when they start doing streaming online and they had all the different like shows like WandaVision and all this stuff, because you had to watch that entire series to understand this random movie that came out or
exactly.
something like that. So you have to be so updated on the lore. And oh man, there's always this excuse of, oh, it's just another superhero movie, so like why does it need to be good? But MCU did really good at making really good movies that so happen to be superhero movies. And so I think they can definitely do it, but now they're just like, oh, it's just another superhero movie, so it's fine if it's not as good because it's just for fun.
Yeah, exactly. I think they kind of need to find their way back to that, and I don't know exactly how they're gonna do that, but I really hope that they do.
And this is where you come in. You help us come
no,
in.
but that's just it. And like every time, like say for instance, a subpar movie bombs at the box office, in a strange way, it kind of makes me happy because I'm like, well, the audience is showing the studios through their money that they don't want this, that they want better quality. And so, you know, do better quality stuff and people will show up and will pay money. But like, you can't expect people to buy like a $20 ticket plus spend like however much you spend on concessions. Because you know, like, you're not just most people aren't just going to the movie theater and just with a ticket, you know, you're like buying some popcorn and some drinks and stuff, or like you bring your whole family. It's a lot of money. Go for it.
It's gone.
Okay.
I tried. Oh, I'm so sad now.
There was a sneeze brewing and it didn't happen, you guys. So yeah, on that note, I think we'll end it here. But what do you guys think about superhero fatigue? And like, what did you think about this revisit on Avengers Infinity War? Accurate? Did he miss some stuff? I don't know. I thought it was fun. And anyway, we will see you next time. I'm Achara Kirk. This is
Brandon Yates.
Ciao.